Right now, the undisputed sweet spot for high-fidelity gaming is an Intel 14th Gen i5 paired with an RTX 40 series card. It's the ultimate price-to-performance meta. But the second you launch a demanding AAA title, your room transforms into a sauna, and your monitoring software shows 85 to 90 degrees Celsius on the CPU. You ask yourself, is this normal? Is this what everyone else gets? Let me tell you, absolutely not. You are leaving performance on the table while cooking your hardware. You can call the helpline and talk to the manager who sold you the CPU chip, or you can take control of the situation and fix these factory settings yourself. Just look at the stock performance here, what a total mess. It makes no sense for a modern setup to generate this much crazy heat right out of the box. Seeing that thermal overlay is just painful. Skiff, don't you feel hot there under that scorching unoptimized pipeline? To get this sorted, smash the delete key on your keyboard a few times as your PC boots up to open the BIOS. Head over to the overclocking tab, open up Advanced CPU configuration, and find CPU Lite Load. My motherboard defaults this all the way to mode 22, so I'm dropping it down to mode 11. Once that's changed, go back to settings, hit save and exit, choose save changes and reboot, and click yes, and you will see those crazy temperatures drop down to a beautiful chill baseline. Look at the data side by side. My Cinebench 2026 metric instantly jumps from 4997 to 5412 points. Maximum voltage dropped from an aggressive 1.51 voltage to 1.316 voltage. Thermal throttling completely gone. CPU temperature went from 100 degrees Celsius straight down to a manageable 92 degrees Celsius under absolute maximum stress. I'm getting higher overall productivity with drastically less heat and better hardware longevity. That's exactly how I like to run things in FPS department. Let's run a quick performance check in actual game environment. On the left, running the stock setting, the telemetry shows a massive 85 degrees Celsius to 90 degrees Celsius spike, which is way too hot. On the right, using Lite Load Mode 11, the thermal drops all the way down to 70 degrees Celsius. That's how to properly manage our hardware assets, cutting down the heat, eliminating wasted energy, and sustaining peak performance. It is just highly efficient execution. I think you are smart enough to catch the CPU core clock speed is struggle and unstable as stock setting here, like an employee who is slacking and always on medical leave and annual leave. Come on, my CPU max speed is 5200 MHz. What is 4800 MHz doing here? So guys, do you see now? On default settings, my MSI board was pushing 1.51 voltage to the CPU. It is operating like a space heater. What we ever need is between 1.25 and 1.32 voltage. 1.25 to 1.32 voltage is usually the optimized sweet spot for a CPU under full load, where you get full performance, good temperature, and stability. Just remember not to go too low to avoid instability and crashes. Here is the operational breakdown on why 1.25 to 1.32 voltage makes the most sense. Default BIOS profile dump and aggressive 1.4 voltage or more into the CPU just so the lower scale chips run without errors. It is an inefficient safety net. When you dial that setting down to 1.25 to 1.32 voltage, you are effectively cutting out over 100 mW of wasteful voltage. Yet, even at 1.25 to 1.32, the CPU retains all the headroom it needs to continuously sustain its top-end clock speed at 5.2 GHz and above. If you are looking for clean execution, 0 game crashes, and absolute system reliability without a tedious testing process, settling at 1.25 to 1.32 is a smart management. On MSI motherboard, locking in Lite Load Mode 11 is my go-to choice for reaching that ideal voltage. If you happen to be managing a system built on Asus, Asrock, or Gigabyte motherboards, don't worry, the process is identical. You just need to look for a setting called IAAC load line in your configuration menu. Out of the box, most manufacturers crank this setting up to a pretty aggressive 1.1 MOBO. Stepping it down to 0.8 or 0.7 MOBO is usually a safe bet for 99% of processors, giving you a 15 degrees Celsius temperature drop with zero performance loss. Keep in mind that every CPU chip behaves differently due to the silicon lottery. If your system runs into blue screen or crash, all you have to do is bump the value up slightly. If Lite Load Mode 10 crash, shift up to Mode 11. If 0.7 MOBO crash, try 0.8 MOBO. Your target is simply to find the lowest stable floor that keeps your system perfectly stable. Finding that ideal sweet spot is exactly how I managed to trim 15 degrees Celsius off my CPU without compromising performance. The truth is, you can use the most expensive liquid cooler and premium thermal paste, but it cannot stop the CPU chip from requesting over 1.4 voltage for no good reason from the motherboard. That's exactly why this chip breaks even when the actual usage is low, and it is a massive headache for anyone owning a 13 or 14 Gen Intel processor. Wait, how many bloodsuckers am I fighting? Did I sign up for Eat All You Can buffet? This is what I call high efficiency execution, corporate upgrade. Now that your CPU thermal is fixed, your game settings need to be optimized next. Hit subscribe because in my next video, I'm showing you the exact game settings to max up your graphic without tanking your frames. By the way, if you run into another bloodsuckers, sign me up, I can fix them.